Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for GutCheck's Voices of Experience. Today we've brought back Brad White to talk about trends that are impacting research and development. Brad is a partner at Profit, a strategic brand and marketing consultancy. They have offices that span the globe and deliver innovative problem solving, a powerful blend of strategy, creativity, and analytics, as well as thought leadership in brand, marketing, and more. Thanks for joining us today, Brad. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about what trends you're seeing in the world of research and development?
Well, one of the clear trends I think all of us are seeing in business is doing more with less. And oftentimes the less part of the equation is less people. And so what we've seen is that our clients are doing just as much research as they've done in the past, but they have to do it with fewer resources. So that stretches them fairly thin. In any given year, they may have to do 10 or 12 different projects. And a couple of years ago, they were doing 5 or 6 projects. Another related trend, and I'm not sure if it's driven by the budget or if it's just an independent trend that is continuing, and that's around tighter timelines and tighter cycle times. It's felt to me in working with our clients, whether it's B2B or B2C or in consumer packaged goods and outside of consumer packaged goods, that senior management wants to get products out the door as quickly as possible. I think this is in part due to globalization because now competitive pressures are not only coming from the same competitors they've seen over the last decade, but there are new products and new services popping up globally, and the rush to defend market share or to capitalize on an opportunity in the marketplace is really driving the turnaround times and the timelines on projects and the cycle time to actually get products out the door and launch successfully. That's a clear trend that's driving product development and in turn is driving research.
Can you think of a real example where you had to work with a client in one of those more with less constraints?
We did a lot of work in 2010 with a toothpaste manufacturer, and this particular toothpaste manufacturer had focused on the more therapeutic side of the business, and so toothpastes that are more generally focused on preventing cavities and improving the health of your teeth and gums. And for the first time, they had an opportunity to develop something that was more on the cosmetic side of the equation. So we helped them really dig into and excavate a deep understanding of consumers' beliefs and attitudes and behaviors around whitening toothpastes, and in particular, understanding the psychology of beauty products and cosmetics and the emotional side of that equation. And so we engaged in a very iterative process of going out and talking to consumers, really understanding their beliefs and behaviors and the trade-offs and tensions that they had, and coming back and working with our client team to make sense of that information in the context of their world. And so this iterative process of going out and getting insights and bringing them back in was enormously helpful for them to get a really deep understanding of the needs and drivers behind whitening toothpaste. And it turns out that it was a huge success, that we got to a set of insights that were really not well understood by the client and certainly not well understood in the marketplace. And it allowed our clients to develop the toothpaste product, and by product I mean the product itself, what's in the tube, but also the packaging. What does the tube look like? What's the function of the tube? The actual packaging of the box, all of the messaging and communications, and the way to position the product in the marketplace in a very unique and different and powerful way that has driven enormous success. It's been one of the most successful products that our client had launched in many years. And part of the keys to success for this was certainly the quality of the insights, but also it was the timeline that we worked with. We literally started the project in October, and they needed to have the product on shelf in August. And anyone who's worked in CPG knows that that is an insane timeline. But there was a competitive need and a marketplace need to have the product on the shelves in August. And so we had to go twice as fast as we would have in any other project. And the risk of compressing the timeline meant that we risked cutting corners or perhaps not getting to the level of depth of insight that really would make this a successful product. And one of the things that really helped was GutCheck, because what GutCheck allows you to do is, rather than go out and to schedule focus groups or to do in-home interviews, GutCheck allows you, in many cases, to take that process of scheduling in-home or in-facility kinds of qualitative research that would normally take 4 weeks or 6 weeks to actually schedule and conduct. And you could really compress that into a week. And without that ability to compress the timeline at the same level of quality, we would not have been able to meet the timeline and to get the product out in the marketplace when we did.
So has GutCheck changed your thinking or approach to research in any way that relates to this new world of time constraints?
I think the opportunity for us to insert opportunities to talk to consumers throughout our process has definitely changed. I think 2 years ago, we never would have thought about going back out to ask consumers toward the end of a project to give us feedback on whether or not what we have done is aligned with their needs or appeals to them. We just wouldn't have done it because it would have taken too much time at the end of the project to do. Now we have a tool and a fantastic opportunity to quickly go back out to get a gut check of our own, to understand how appealing a particular piece of messaging or imagery or color choice or name or element of the overall positioning, how appealing that might be to them is a huge advantage for us. And it definitely has changed the way that we think about our projects and the value that we can create for our clients.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Brad. We do appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today. And thanks to all of you for listening. We'll catch you for the next Voices of Experience, brought to you by GutCheck.